Computer display, target analysis for Sol 3. Captain Rex Thorax commanded, his clawed fingers tapping rhythmically against the sleek console of the Starseeker. The holographic screen flickered to life, casting a cool, blue glow across his weathered features. His crimson eyes narrowed as data streamed past, each confirming his anticipation. This would be a hunt like no other. Another backwater planet? Bella Rose's voice, melodic and light, echoed from the doorway, carrying a touch of playful mockery as she entered the command center. Her hybrid nature was apparent in the iridescent shimmer that danced across her skin, an inherited trait from her Lumian mother. I thought after the Venusian vapor vipers you'd crave something a bit more challenging. Rex turned to her, his mandibles clicking in what the crew had come to understand as a grin. Trust me, Bella, this one's different. The Galactic Council just cleared it. They call it a death world. Jack Thunder, their weapons expert, looked up from his maintenance station, his cybernetic eye whirring as it adjusted to the low light. A death world? Now that's something new. What's so dangerous about it? Rex gestured toward the holographic display. The planet's atmosphere is corrosive, the gravity is crushing, and the wildlife. He paused for emphasis. Some of the most deadly predators in the galaxy. Sounds like my kind of holiday, Jack joked, setting down the plasma rifle he was calibrating. His mechanical hand shifted into a multi-tool as he stepped closer to the hologram. So, what's our primary target? The image shifted to show various Earth predators. Rex's expression hardened. Here's the kicker, the classification team couldn't pinpoint which species is actually at the top of the food chain. They all seem to be in a constant struggle for dominance. Bella leaned forward, her bioluminescent markings pulsing with intrigue. Look at these physiological readings, thermal regulation through water loss, endurance hunting. These creatures are something else, and extremely valuable, Rex added, his tone sharpening with the promise of wealth. The Galactic Zoo Network is offering a hefty bounty for successful captures. Enough to retire on comfortably. Jack whistled low, the sound sharp in the quiet room. Must be some real nasty customers to warrant that kind of payout. What's the plan, Captain? Rex activated a tactical map of their intended landing zone. We'll touch down in what they call a national park. It's essentially a designated hunting area. Initial scans indicate high concentrations of predators in the vicinity. Any sentient species we should be concerned about? Bella asked, already calculating potential landing paths. Rex shook his head, his mandibles twitching with mild amusement. The survey team found some primitive tool users, but they're not advanced enough to notice us. They're classified as prey, barely worth mentioning. Famous last words, Jack muttered under his breath, though his cybernetic eye gleamed with anticipation. Remember what happened on Kepler 186f? That was a different situation, Rex replied quickly, brushing off the comment. This time we're ready. How was I supposed to know those floating gas bags were intelligent? Besides, they forgave us. Eventually, Bella's laugh rang through the room, a sound like chimes in a breeze. Only after you danced that ridiculous ceremonial jig we promised never to mention again, she teased. Rex growled in mock frustration, though the warmth in his voice betrayed no real anger. He turned back to the main display. Starseeker set course for Sol 3, marking target zone for approach. The ship's AI responded with a soft chime as Bella moved to the navigation console, her fingers deftly working the controls. Jack returned to his weapon station, humming an old war song as he readied their capture gear. Rex glanced at his crew, a deep sense of pride swelling within him. They were the best, each one a master of their craft. They had captured a Martian methane mammoth alive, been the first to document Europa's crystal caves. This hunt would be their magnum opus, their legacy. If only he knew how right he was, though not in the way he expected. Beginning approach sequence, Bella announced, her voice calm and professional. Estimated arrival at Sol 3 in 48 standard hours. Rex settled into his command chair, mentally preparing for the challenges ahead. Well, team, let's bag some Earth predators. What's the worst that could happen? The Starseeker's engines roared to life, the ship hurtling toward a destination that would forever redefine their understanding of predator and prey. The Starseeker descended smoothly, touching down in a clearing deep within the Yellowstone wilderness. Its cloaking field dispersed the morning mist, sending ripples across the landscape. Dawn broke, casting soft pink and gold hues across the sky. Even the battle-hardened hunters paused, taking in the breathtaking view. Atmospheric analysis complete, Bella reported from her station. Oxygen levels at 21%. It's like breathing plasma fire. She adjusted the filters in her environmental suit as the readout stabilized. Our suits can handle it, though. Rex stepped onto the loading ramp, his boots crunching into the frost-covered earth. The weight of Earth's gravity pressed on him, but his reinforced exoskeleton compensated compensated, making each step effortless. Not so bad, he mused. Kind of reminds me of the hunting grounds back on Proxima Beta. Sure, if Proxima Beta tried to crush you like a garbage compactor, Jack grumbled, hefting his capture rifle. The weapon hummed as it adjusted to the planet's magnetic field. These readings are insane. The biomass density here is off the charts. A distant howl pierced the air, followed by several more from different directions. Rex's mandibles twitched in excitement. Hear that? Pack hunters. Always a good sign. Movement at 2 o'clock, Bella reported, her enhanced vision zooming in on the tree line. Small quadrupedal herbivore. Local designation, deer. They watched as the creature cautiously stepped out of the forest, its head bobbing nervously as it approached a nearby stream. Jack raised his rifle, his instincts taking over, but Rex held up a hand to stop him. Let's observe first. I want to see how these Earth predators hunt, Rex said, activating his data recorder. Could be useful when we start making captures. The deer's head suddenly jerked up, ears swiveling, and in a flash, it bolted, its white tail flashing as it vanished into the underbrush. Within seconds, a large canine broke through the trees, its gray fur glistening with dew from the morning mist. Local designation, gray wolf, Bella informed. Social predator, pack hunter. One of the more successful species on this continent. The wolf skidded to a halt, its nose working the air. Then, unexpectedly, it turned directly toward their position. Despite the ship's cloaking technology and scent-masking fields, the creature seemed to detect them, moving with unnerving precision. That's not possible, Jack muttered, scanning his equipment. Our cloaking field is at full power. The wolf's hackles rose, and instead of attacking or retreating, it lifted its head to release a long, piercing howl. Within moments, howls from multiple directions answered, throwing Rex's tactical systems into disarray. Satisfaction in his voice. He moved toward the containment field, already calculating the credits they'd earn from this specimen. Jack, begin medical monitoring. Bella, prepare for transference. Captain, Bella's voice had an edge he hadn't heard before. The wolf packs are back. All of them. They're surrounding us again. Let them watch, Rex dismissed with a wave. They can't penetrate our security field. That's not what concerns me, Jack interrupted, his voice steady but laced with unease. His mechanical hand shifted back into scanner mode. These readings, there's something else out there. Something big. Rex froze, suddenly aware of the eerie silence that had fallen over the forest. No birds called, no insects buzzed. Even the wolves had quieted. What kind of readings? He asked, his instincts now alert, overriding the earlier thrill of the hunt. Temperature, nearly 37 degrees Celsius, bipedal locomotion, height approximately 1.8 meters. Jack's voice grew more concerned as the data scrolled across his display. But the neural patterns, I've never seen anything like this. The complexity is off the charts. A rock clattered down the slope above them, followed by another and then another. The mountain lion still groggy within the cont. Jack's voice reflected professional awe. They're using sound to triangulate our position. Fascinating. More wolves appeared from the forest, circling around the clearing in a loose formation. They didn't show aggression, just a quiet vigilance, observing and waiting. Their behavior didn't align with anything the hunters had studied about predator species. This isn't right, Bella said softly, her bioluminescent patterns shifting to reflect her unease. Predators don't behave like this. They either attack or retreat. Maybe they're not the apex predator we're after, Jack suggested, his cybernetic eye scanning the wolves. Could be something larger, something that keeps even these predators cautious. A deafening roar echoed from deeper in the forest, confirming Jack's theory. The wolves' ears perked up, and instead of showing fear, they simply melted back into the trees, maintaining their formation as they retreated. Now that sounds more like it, Rex's voice trembled with excitement. Starseeker, analyze that sound. The ship's AI responded promptly. Analysis indicates Ursus arctos horribilis, common name, grizzly bear, territorial omnivore known for aggressive defense of resources and young. Perfect, Rex said, checking his equipment. That's the kind of predator we're after. Prepare the containment field. Jack, Bella, track those wolves. I want to know where they're going. Already on it, Bella replied, her fingers flying over her console. But, Captain, something's still off. The wolves aren't fleeing, Jack noted, his mechanical hand shifting into a scanning array. They're regrouping, almost like they're setting up a perimeter around us. Bella's expression darkened. She's right. I'm detecting multiple wolf packs, all maintaining equidistant positions around us. This isn't normal predator behavior. It's almost like they're containing us. Rex's excitement faltered, replaced by a creeping sense of concern, like they're treating us as the threat. Just as the realization sank in, a new sound broke through the air, a sharp, distinct whistle. The wolves shifted their posture from alert to almost relaxed in response to the sharp whistle. "What kind of predator?" Rex began, his words trailing off as Bella interrupted him. "Movement, large shape coming through the trees. But the energy signature, I've never seen anything like it." The hunters immediately raised their weapons, instinct taking over as they formed a defensive triangle. The mist of the morning parted, revealing a silhouette, something so foreign and dangerous that none of them realized the true extent of the threat they were facing just yet. "Hold position," Rex ordered, his voice calm but carrying a thread of uncertainty. "Whatever comes through those trees, remember, we're the galaxy's best hunters. This is just another—" His words faltered and died in his throat as the figure fully emerged from the forest. The team's understanding of predator and prey was about to unravel completely. "Target located," Jack whispered, his cybernetic eye rapidly processing heat signatures through the dense forest canopy. "Large feline predator moving northeast along the ridge. Local database IDs it as a mountain lion." Rex studied the holographic terrain map projected from his wrist computer. 3 hours had passed since their unsettling encounter with the wolf packs, but the thrill of the hunt had overridden those worries. Perfect hunting ground, rocky outcrops for ambush points, limited escape routes. "Status on the containment field?" Rex asked. "Generators positioned and calibrated," Bella replied, her voice steady over the secure comm channel. Her bioluminescent patterns had blended with the dappled shadows of the forest, rendering her nearly invisible. "Ready to activate on your mark." The mountain lion moved with silent grace, its muscled shoulders rippling beneath the tawny fur as it navigated the steep terrain. Rex observed through his tactical display, admiring the feline's lethal efficiency. Every movement conveyed the precision of a perfect killing machine, molded by centuries of evolution on this brutal world. "This is more like it," Rex murmured, satisfaction settling in his voice. "No pack tactics, no strange behavior, just pure predator instinct." "Jack, prepped the neural suppressor?" Rex asked. "Ready," Jack confirmed. "Bella, begin closing the net." Their practiced routine kicked into high gear. Jack's mechanical arm shifted into a targeting array, while Bella manipulated her portable console, fine-tuning the containment field's parameters. They had executed this same sequence countless times across dozens of worlds. The mountain lion paused, lifting its head as it tested the air. For a moment, Rex feared it had detected them, despite their countermeasures. But instead of fleeing, the big cat crouched low, focused intently on something ahead. "Hold position," Rex ordered, lowering his voice. "Let's see what it's stalking. Might lead us to something even bigger." The mountain lion crept forward, its muscles coiling with deadly intent, moving silently and precisely through the underbrush. Rex admired its form, appreciating the sheer predatory elegance. This was the kind of challenge they had come for, one of Earth's apex predators. A twig snapped in the forest. The change in the mountain lion was instantaneous. Its ears flattened, and its tail tucked as it whipped around to face the source of the sound, its attention shifting entirely. All pretense of the hunt vanished as the mountain lion began to retreat, its instincts pushing it away from the danger it sensed. "That's not right," Bella murmured, scanning the data. "These readings, its stress hormones just spiked. Something's got it spooked." "Forget about it," Rex barked. "This is our chance. Jack, take the shot while it's distracted." "Bella, containment field at maximum." Jack's neural suppressor hummed to life, its power rising with a whine. His cybernetic eye focused, the targeting reticle locking onto the big cat's central nervous system. 3, 2, 1. The beam fired, enveloping the mountain lion in a web of synaptic disruption energy. The creature stumbled, its muscles twitching as it fought the effect longer than most species would have been able to. Finally, it collapsed, its legs buckling as the suppression took hold. The containment field shimmered to life, wrapping around the creature in a protective bubble. "Capture successful," Rex declared. A note of alignment field pressed itself against the far side of the barrier, its behavior more than fearful now. It was terrified. "Bella," Rex said, his tone quieter now, "run a full spectrum analysis." "What exactly are we dealing with?" Bella consulted her instruments, her bioluminescent patterns flashing rapidly as she worked. "Multiple contacts now. They're using tools, Captain. Advanced tools. Energy signatures I don't recognize. And they're not just surrounding us. They're hurting." Rex's blood ran cold as the realization hit him like a physical blow. "Yes," he whispered, "the pieces coming together. Using the wolves to drive us exactly where they want us." us. We're not the hunters here. We never were. Shut down the containment field, Jack suggested urgently. Release the cat. Maybe that's all they want. Rex didn't hesitate. Do it. Bella, prepare emergency extraction protocols. Jack shifted into a defensive stance as the containment field collapsed, his weapons at the ready. The mountain lion, still dazed from the neural suppressor, struggled to its feet. But instead of fleeing in panic, it moved with purpose, heading directly away from whatever was coming down the slope. Look at that, Bella whispered in awe. It knows exactly where to run, like it's been trained. More rocks clattered down the hillside. Then the wolves began howling again, but this time, the sound was different, almost jubilant, as if they were celebrating. Rex's stomach churned as he pieced it all together. The prey species, he said, his voice hollow. They're not prey at all. They're the ones in control, the ones the survey team dismissed. The tool users we assumed. Captain, Jack interrupted, his cybernetic eye whirring as it tried to process what he was seeing. Remember what you said about this hunt changing everything? Not now, Jack, Rex growled, but Jack's urgency was undeniable. No, you really need to see this, Jack insisted, raising his mechanical arm and pointing toward the parting tree line. Rex turned, his four hearts nearly stopping at the sight that greeted him. There, standing casually among Earth's most dangerous predators, was something that defied everything Rex had thought he knew about the natural order. And it was smiling. The galaxy's most renowned hunting team stood frozen, their prize forgotten as they finally understood why Earth had been classified as a death world. It wasn't because of the gravity or the corrosive atmosphere or even the aggressive wildlife. It was because of what stood before them, the true apex predator of Sol 3, the one that hadn't just survived this deadly planet but had tamed it. Hi there, the human's voice carried easily across the clearing, surprisingly warm. You know, your cloaking technology is impressive, but you might want to account for thermal signatures next time. These old forestry cameras picked up everything. Rex, Bella, and Jack exchanged bewildered glances as the human approached, carrying what they now recognized as advanced imaging equipment. She wore sturdy boots, practical outdoor clothing, and had various tools strapped to her belt. My name's Sarah Walker, park ranger and wildlife photographer, she said, her tone casual. And you're standing in the middle of a protected sanctuary. She gestured to the wolves flanking her, completely at ease among the predators, which makes those capture attempts a bit problematic. Impossible, Rex muttered, his mandibles clicking rapidly in disbelief. The survey data classified your species as prey. You don't even have natural weapons. Sarah laughed, the sound ringing through the trees. Oh, that's a good one. Tell me, how many prey species do you know that contract spacecraft? She held up a device, clearly monitoring their ship's position, or perhaps coordinating with the apex predators around her. To punctuate her point, a massive grizzly bear lumbered into view behind her. Instead of attacking, it sat down like a tame pet, watching them with intelligent eyes. The mountain lion they'd captured earlier moved to Sarah's side, rubbing against her leg like a house cat. This is wrong, Bella whispered, her bioluminescent patterns flickering with unease. Predator species don't behave like this. They don't cooperate across territorial boundaries. They don't follow commands from prey, unless, Jack's cybernetic eye whirred, processing the scene before him. We completely misunderstood the planetary hierarchy. Sarah casually pulled something from her pocket, some kind of preserved meat, and with the ease of long practice, tossed pieces to the wolves and bear. These are my research subjects, she said, as if discussing simple domestic pets. I've been studying their pack dynamics for years. They're surprisingly social once you understand their behaviors. Rex stood in stunned silence as Sarah approached the massive grizzly bear, a creature that could tear her apart with a single swipe. Instead of flinching or running, she gently checked the bear's ear tag, as though it were just another animal in her care. The truth began to sink in. Earth's real apex predator wasn't just the creatures of the wild, but the ones standing among them. Sarah Walker, the human, had not only survived this brutal world, but she had conquered it, forging an unbreakable bond with its most dangerous inhabitants. The bear rumbled contentedly, its massive form relaxed as Sarah scratched behind its ears. Jack watched with a mix of disbelief and fascination. You're not using any control devices? He asked, his scanner confirming the absence of any technological restraints. No neural suppressors, no behavioral modifiers? Just trust, Sarah replied calmly, her fingers moving gently over the bear's thick fur. Time, and lots of patience. Occasional salmon treat doesn't hurt, she added with a playful smile before turning to face the hunters directly. Now, about your hunting operation. We have all necessary permits from the Galactic Council. Rex tried to regain some authority in the situation. The Galactic Council doesn't have jurisdiction here. Earth isn't some backwater hunting ground. We're a protected reserve, monitored by people like me me who ensure our wildlife remains wild and safe. As if on cue, a wolf pup tumbled out of the underbrush, playfully attacking Sarah's boots. She scooped it up with ease, checked it over, and set it back down before continuing. Even our most dangerous predators are part of a carefully balanced ecosystem, she said. One we've learned to work with, not against. Mountain lions fitted with tracking collars for migration studies. Every creature you see here, we know their names, their territories, their family groups. We protect them, study them, and yes, sometimes we have to control them. Not through force, but through cooperation. Jack's mechanical hand retracted back into its standard configuration as he lowered his weapons, processing what he had just learned. They're not just tolerating your presence, he realized aloud. They're actively working with you. Give the cyborg a prize, Sarah grinned. Humans didn't become Earth's dominant species by being the strongest or fastest. We did it by understanding that true power comes from cooperation, not conquest. Rex watched as more wildlife began to emerge from the forest. Foxes, eagles, even smaller predators he couldn't identify. None showed any fear of Sarah. Instead, they seemed curious about the new visitors. Your hunting permits are revoked, Sarah said firmly, but without malice. I'll be reporting this incident to our contact in the Galactic Council. Earth's wildlife isn't for sale or capture. They're under our protection. Rex's realization hit him slowly. The most dangerous thing on this planet, he said quietly, his voice carrying a new understanding. Isn't any of these predators, is it? Sarah's smile shifted, becoming something almost predatory itself. Let's just say there's a reason Earth is classified as a death world, not because of our wildlife, but because of what we had to become to survive among them, and what we'll do to protect them. The message was undeniable. This wasn't just a failed hunt. It was a fundamental shift in their understanding of predator and prey, of strength and intelligence, of what it truly meant to be the apex species. We should go, Bella suggested, her bioluminescent patterns shifting to match the cautionary colors of Earth's most venomous creatures. Probably wise, Jack muttered. Sarah agreed with a slight nod and a gentle motion, and the gathered predators parted, creating a clear path back to their ship. As they began to retreat, Sarah called after them, her voice still warm but laced with a quiet authority. Oh, and next time, just send an email if you want to study our wildlife. We give great guided tours. As the alien hunting team retreated, they couldn't help but notice how the predators moved in perfect harmony with Sarah's subtle hand signals, an intricate dance of mutual respect and understanding that had evolved over millennia. They had come to Earth to hunt predators, only to realize they had been the prey all along. We can't just leave her, Rex declared suddenly, halting the team's retreat. These creatures, they're clearly using some form of mind control on her. No sane being would stand that close to a grizzly bear. Captain, I don't think, Bella started, but Rex was already turning back, his protective instincts outweighing his common sense. Sarah Walker, he called out, his voice firm. We have advanced containment technology. We can help free you from whatever control these predators have over you. Sarah, who had been adjusting her camera settings while leaning casually against the bear, looked up with a mix of amusement and exasperation. Oh boy, here we go again. Stand back, Rex ordered, activating his capture field generator. We neutralized the hostile wildlife and Toby Morgan demonstration, please? Sarah interrupted calmly, her tone almost casual. Before Rex could react, two wolves emerged from the underbrush, not charging, not attacking. They moved with military precision, their focus entirely on his equipment. In a flash of coordinated movement, they knocked the generator from his hands and disabled it with calculated, precise bites. Good boys, Sarah praised, tossing the wolves treats. Targeted disarmament, just like we practiced. Jack's cybernetic eye was recording everything. His artificial pupil dilated in shock as he processed the scene. Those weren't random attacks. That was tactical coordination. They identified the threat and neutralized it with minimal force. Of course they did, Sarah replied, absent-mindedly scratching one of the wolves behind its ears. We've been working together for millennia. Did you think we spent all that time just fighting each other? The bear shifted its weight and Sarah absently steadied herself against its fur. The casual intimacy of the gesture made Rex's mandibles quiver in disbelief. But they're apex predators, he protested. They're driven by instinct to hunt, to kill. Sarah sighed and pulled up something on her tablet. See this? It's my doctoral thesis on interspecies cooperation. She turned the screen toward them, showing graphs and footage of her work. Turns out apex predators are incredibly sophisticated social creatures. They understand alliance, territory, and mutual benefit. We didn't tame Earth's predators. We partnered with them. She swiped through more videos, humans and wolves hunting together in snow-covered forests, bears being safely relocated from cities with minimal conflict, big cats allowing veterinarians to treat their cubs. Your species classification system is too simplistic, Sarah continued. You think in terms of predator and prey, dominant and submissive, but Earth's ecology doesn't work that way. Everything's connected, everything cooperates, but the raw power they possess. Bella interjected, her scientific curiosity slowly overcoming her fear. Power isn't just about physical strength, Sarah countered, her voice soft but confident. She whistled, and the mountain lion they had tried to capture earlier padded over, its sleek form moving silently through the underbrush. The team stood still, watching the predator approach with an unsettling calmness, as if it were just another of Sarah's companions. Rex's mind raced, unable to reconcile this new reality with everything he had learned about apex predators. In this world, predator and prey had no clear boundaries. Maya here could easily kill me. She's faster, stronger, has natural weapons I could never match. But watch this. Sarah pulled out her camera, showing it to the mountain lion, and pointed toward a nearby rock. The big cat immediately took up a pose, positioning itself perfectly for the shot. She understands photography, Sarah explained. She knows that staying still means she gets treats and helps us document her species. That's not submission or control. It's cooperation. Understanding something your classification of Earth completely missed. Rex watched, stunned, as more animals emerged from the forest. They weren't moving in threatening positions, but instead, each species displayed unity and purpose. The wolves, who had initially seemed to be stalking them, were now working in tandem with the other predators, moving with clear signs of intelligence and training. The wolves intercepted our ship's landing, Jack said, realization dawning. They weren't hunting us. They were performing reconnaissance. Standard protocol. Yes, Sarah confirmed. We have arrangements with most predator species. They alert us to unusual activities in their territories. We provide protection, medical care, and sustainable hunting grounds in return. She gestured to her equipment. These cameras, they're not just for pretty pictures. They're part of a global monitoring network. Every major predator population on Earth is tracked, studied, and protected by choice, not force. Rex was stunned, the implications crashing into him like a gravitational wave. Every assumption they'd made, every classification in their database had been catastrophically wrong. They hadn't found a planet of dangerous but manageable predators. They'd found a world where the so-called prey species had turned apex predators into willing allies. If this is what you've done with Earth's predators, Bella whispered, awe creeping into her voice, what would you do to protect them from outside threats? Sarah's smile turned sharp, her gaze steady. Let's hope we never have to find out. Rex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. Now, about that hunting permit, the message was clear. They weren't leaving with a captured specimen today. They were leaving with a warning. Starseeker, begin launch preparations, Rex commanded, his voice steady but filled with a newfound respect. The team began backing toward their ship, each step watched by dozens of predator eyes. All of them moved in perfect harmony with Sarah's subtle hand signals. Before you go, Sarah called out, her voice carrying easily across the clearing. A parting gift for educational purposes. She tossed them a small data drive. Jack caught it with his mechanical hand, immediately scanning it for threats. Clean, he confirmed, his voice calm but tense. But these files, Captain, you need to see this. The drive contains centuries of human documentation, videos of humans swimming with massive ocean predators, rehabilitating injured wolves, hand-raising orphan bear cubs. But more disturbingly, there were also footage and records of human warfare, creatures who had mastered pack tactics, persistence hunting, and tool use on a scale that made Earth's predators look tame by comparison. You're not just working with them, Bella said, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with realization. You learn from them. You combined all their hunting strategies into something new. Sarah nodded absently, rubbing the grizzly bear's ears. Wolves taught us pack coordination. Big cats showed us ambush tactics. Bears demonstrated the value of adaptability. She smiled faintly. We've learned a lot from Earth's predators, but we've also become something new in the process. We didn't defeat Earth's predators. We became them, then surpassed them. And now you protect them, because they're not just animals to you, Rex said, the realization finally dawning. Family, Sarah finished. Partners, the ones who helped us become what we are. We hunted together, survived together, evolved together. She swept her hand toward the assembled wildlife. Every predator species you see here, they're not just research subjects. They're part of Earth's legacy. Our legacy, the mountain lion, Maya, rubbed against Sarah's leg one final time before slipping back into the forest. One by one, the other predators melted away, not fleeing, but moving with tactical precision to maintain their perimeter. A suggestion for your database, Sarah called out as the hunters made their way to the ship's ramp. Classify Earth as you like, but make one thing clear, we protect our own. own. All of them. Rex paused at the top of the ramp, his gaze lingering on the human who had shattered everything he thought he knew about predator and prey. You could have stopped us the moment we landed. Why let us get this far? Sarah's smile was sharp, a flash of predator's cunning. Sometimes the best lessons are the ones you learn for yourself. Safe travels. The Starseeker lifted off, its cloaking field engaged, and its crew sat in stunned silence. Finally, Bella spoke. Captain, what should I put in the mission report? Rex stared at the view screen, watching the curvature of Earth disappear below them. He thought about what they'd seen, what they'd learned, and most importantly, what they'd almost done wrong. Classification update, he began, his voice steady. Planet Sol 3, designation Earth. Warning, extreme caution. Indigenous apex species has achieved a symbiotic relationship with all native predators. Approach with diplomatic protocols only. All hunting permits automatically void. He paused, then added a personal note. In our quest to capture the perfect predator, we nearly missed documenting the most remarkable one, a species that turned the galaxy's deadliest hunters into willing allies through patience, understanding, and treats. The mission? Jack asked, his cybernetic eye still processing data from Sarah's drive. Technically a failure, Rex admitted, but practically we just documented something far more valuable than any captured specimen. We found a species that didn't just survive a death world. They mastered it not through force or technology, but through cooperation. As the Starseeker broke orbit, a final transmission came through their comms. Sarah's voice, clear and amused, echoed across the ship. Next time, just book a tour. Our rates are reasonable, and we provide excellent photographic opportunities. No capture attempts required. The galaxy's most renowned hunting team exchanged glances, then burst out laughing. They had come seeking the ultimate predator and found, instead, the ultimate truth. On a planet classified as a death world, the most dangerous species wasn't the one with the sharpest claws or the strongest bite. It was the one smart enough to make friends with them all.